Hi and welcome back, guys, to the AMCrypto channel. And yes, today we have to talk about the potential of a local top that we have already experienced, or at the moment where we might get a potential top. I have found evidence on chain and also on the technical charts that are pointing into a really specific direction that I want to talk about today. So if you think that is interesting, then definitely stick around here. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, you're liking this video, and also activating the bell so that you will never miss out on these important updates. And now let's get directly into today's content. And I start off with the technical analysis before I go into the on-chain part. So here we have on the weekly chart right now here the hash ribbons. So that's the indicator that I'm using here. So, and if you are here already for a really long time on the channel, you know I have spoken a year ago, I think the last time, about the hash ribbons. And that was most likely somewhere here. Yeah, so that makes sense that it was kind of here when I talked the last time about it. And just for you guys that don't know what the hash ribbons are, the hash ribbons are telling you when miners are capitulating and technically selling off, and when they're holding. So when the hash ribbon is green and you get certain dots here on the hash ribbon, then you know, okay, the price is about to spike because the miners are not selling right now. And if there's no sell pressure from the miners, the price usually goes up because miners contribute to a huge part to the selling pressure in many cryptocurrencies, not only Bitcoin. So, and every time when we get a blue dot, you see the price went to the upside. Here also blue dot, price went crazy to the upside. Blue dot, price went to the upside. Blue dot, price went to the upside. So every time when we get a blue dot, the price is making a move to the upside. Now, I was looking at this today and thought to myself, okay, we have now a capitulation dot. And what we have to understand with the capitulation dots is that miners are not always selling off at the capitulation. That only means the hash rate is dropping. And makes it cheaper for them to mine, so significantly dropping. So, but we have to look at it and say, okay, what happened all the other times when we had a blue dot and afterwards following a capitulation dot just before an halving event or just after an halving event. So when we're looking back here in 2019, where we got the blue dot and we got then here the capitulation dot, that was going on for 350 days before we got both dots together. Most of the time, the price was more or less consolidating in that range here before it formed here a small bottom, made a small run, created here a low, and then went finally completely to the upside. So I think when we look at also on the next one, here blue dot, then we got the whole run to the upside. That was just after the halving. And then you see here the capitulation dot came just after the top here, kind of like here. So there was the so we got basically two capitulation dots. We got here one and there one. So here one and here. So that's where we got the two. There you see, from here to here, it was 245 days. And now we are already in 196 days. So I believe that a local top is coming for Bitcoin, where we see a severe correction to the downside. It will not be massive. It will not be like a 70% correction, but it might be a 30% correction that we are experiencing once this is happening. And we might only have 5 to 6 more weeks maximum before that correction will come, which is fine because that means Bitcoin has 5 to 6 weeks to go higher here to potentially, I would say, realistically, it could go to 40K. And then we see a downwards correction back to like 29, 28. And then we move up for good. So that is just something that we have to be aware of, especially here with the capitulation signal coming in on the indicator. But I believe that is a precursor to what we have seen here in the past from here to here, where we went from also blue to capitulation. Look here, blue to capitulation. So that was a long way before we actually were coming down. So that's why I believe there's a little bit more juice in Bitcoin right now for another 5-6 weeks. And then when we potentially hit 40K, Bitcoin will turn around and go here to the downside. So, and that, like I said, is purely based on technical analysis. So here on this weekly chart, we definitely should get here on the volatility oscillator our uptick over 60%. And again, that could result into the move to 40K. I don't want to waste any more time on that chart for today, because this one here is way more interesting, the hourly chart. Because you can clearly see that at $30,333, there is right now the resistance sitting. But I would not dare to long it from there, for the simple reason that this downward sloping resistance line is right now the biggest resistance to look at in the short term. I have to mention that for the short term. And only if we break above that line with a nice spike to the upside, I would long it. So I would not long unless we are breaking $30,400 approximately. Before that, I'm not really interested in longing that. So something that I find interesting is that we went sideways out of that downwards, this upward sloping support line, but technically the support line is now kind of like here. So I have to adjust this also to the downside a little bit. So that's where the line is now, right now. And here you see we should have another 10 hours before we finally have to make a decision if we break down or breaking up. So, and when I look at the stochastic RSI, then I believe if we are not breaking out really quickly here to the upside to at least $30,600-ish, that the price action will come down with the stochastic RSI, and we see another fake out to the downside until the stochastic RSI has bottomed out, and then we turn around and break here up. So we could get close to like 30K, maybe slightly lower, even back down here to 29,800 to the bottom of the range. In my opinion, it's definitely possible, but afterwards I believe that we will go to the upside. So remember, guys, 30,400 minimum level to wait for before we are longing here. And if we go lower, then $30,200 will be the level where you can short scalp. Of course, it's a scalp to the downside, to the bottom of the range. And guys, don't forget, if you want to long or short Bitcoin and you want to do that with me together, then sign up on BYBIT. You still get 30K if you sign up there, but only with that link. Also, the trading competition is coming up. I have already registered for our team there. Make sure that you have an account before the competition is starting, which is starting in, I think, Monday next week. So not tomorrow, in a week from tomorrow. And of course, if you also want to learn properly how to trade, and all my strategies that I have accumulated over the years are making me every single day money here, check out my course on AMCrypto.us. You have a self-paced course where you just have the material and you do everything by yourself, or you have an assisted version where my experienced team that I have taught myself are assisting you and reviewing everything what you are doing, or you go for the pro version where you have a mix out of my team, but mainly me helping you on a personal level. So definitely check it out. We have 6 months left to be prepared for the next bull run. This will take you 3 to 4 months to complete, and then you have still than enough time to position yourself for that upcoming bull market, which will be potentially the last one. So you definitely have to take advantage of that too. So now when we're going to the 4-hourly chart, you can also clearly see Bitcoin has not left this range here that we are still stuck in, from 30,183 all the way up to 390 approximately. That is this range that we are stuck in. I don't like that we are under the EMA ribbon, so it has flipped now to the downside, but that could be also a fake flip because the stochastic RSI is bullish. The sell momentum is slowly fading out on the MACD. So also here, the MACD wants to come up to cross bullish again. So we could see here a move in Bitcoin to the upside, let's say in the next 12 to 16 hours. And that might be, I actually get excited right now. I get FOMO, you know, so I'm not joking, guys. I get here, while I'm recording, I get FOMO talking about it and want to pull the trigger to get into this because it's looking kind of good to me. But I have to be, we have all, not only me, we have to be patient here for another 10 to 12 hours, in my opinion, to see how the price action is unfolding. But if it doesn't change and the price action breaks above $30,500, I might open a long position. So I might be then on a, I will be already then on a train leaving Ukraine. But if I have internet, I might open a trade. So let's move on to the next chart. Here on the 12-hourly chart also, I believe that here the price action that we have right now wants to move back up that upward sloping support line, which is acting now as slight resistance. And once Bitcoin does that, we could see an immediate pump to $30,800 and potentially even higher. So I believe it will spike higher, but it will not close above that level. Potentially tomorrow, if we get there, it might spike over that. So let's see what stochastic RSI is saying here. Yeah, stochastic RSI on the bottom. So also the 12-hourly chart is in alignment with the 4-hourly chart, that we might see a pump here to the upside in the next coming hours. So that is something now definitely worth watching to see what's going on. So the bearish divergence is still in play, guys. Nothing changed. It's still in play unless we are breaking that high point here on the RSI. So that has to be broken. Before that, the bearish divergence can technically still play out here. So now I want to go into the on-chain data. So first of all, here on Glassnode, I have to point out the number of Bitcoin addresses is dramatically increasing over the recent years. So that is definitely bullish for all of us. And also the amount held on these wallets is increasing. So you see here wallets with around $1,000 on it worth of Bitcoin, they are going up. So, and that is amazing. And that means more and more adoption is coming to Bitcoin and more awareness that the banking system is highly fraudulent, and that you should have some Bitcoin in your investment portfolio. When we're going then here to the Bitcoin balance in miner wallets, then you see here what I mean by the miners are not selling right now. So look at this here. Since August 2017, there was only one major drop here. Let me see, can I zoom this somehow? I think if I go like this, yes. So yeah, you see here are some drops in it where miners were selling off. So it was here the day before Christmas in 2020 where they were selling off, and then they were selling off here again in July 21st last year. And then we bottomed out here in December, on the 3rd December last year. And since then, we are kind of holding steady and actually going slowly up. And that means miners understand the Bitcoin halving is coming and it makes no sense to sell now. They rather pay for electricity out of their savings to keep the coins that they have and keep them for the next run, because they're on the next halving event, basically after the halving event, that's where they also all make their money, and building a war chest for the next bear market to sustain the next bear market when it's coming. So, and that is heavily bullish, that we don't see any selling pressure, or at least not a lot of selling pressure from the miners. We can have an even closer look. Yeah, here you see. So there is not a lot of selling going on in correlation to the price. you know. So you see here, okay, here they sold off. That's why Bitcoin dumped a little bit from that was from 28 to 26. So that is sold off for whatever reason, because it was in the middle of the month. It made not really sense to sell off there. But it is what it is. But since then, it goes up again. Then when we are looking here at the number of entities with a balance over 1,000 Bitcoin, so that are whales. So just that you know, so these are whales. Funny enough, since 2021, since January 2021, the whales holding over 1 Bitcoin, the rate is declining. But since June, like last month, it's more or less a month ago, since then we see an uptick again. So that means that some whales have sold their positions, and other new whales coming into the space, understanding that it's time to buy now, that the accumulation phase might be over, and that you have to get into Bitcoin right now to take advantage of the next run. So here you see, so here, since the 16th of June, the rate is going up again. So there we have 1,600. Right now we have 1,671 from priorly 2,163. But I reckon by the top of the next bull run that this number will be at 4,500, 4,000, 5,000 whales holding at least 1,000 Bitcoins in their wallet. So when it comes now to a local top, what I was mentioning earlier, also here, I don't see major whales selling off right now. The number of whales is slowly increasing, and that of course puts more pressure on Bitcoin also to go to the upside. And that's why I believe also here, hence, that we have a little bit more room to grow with the price to the upside before we actually have to come down. So also here, based on on-chain data, there's no indication that we should drop tomorrow to like 26, 27, 28K again. Then also on the Bitcoin P cycle top indicator, that's also something that I wanted to show you guys. So every time when the purple line crosses over the turquoise-ish line, so sorry, the other way around. So let's say the greenish line. The greenish line goes over the purple line. That is normally a topping indication that we have created a top. But you see this indicator is a little bit lagging, because we got here, we get basically, I have to zoom in there. I cannot see that properly like this. So we have gotten here the topping signal, so which was basically just a retracement, and then later on we got the top, and there we got another lap over of both indicators. So and also here they are the same, and slightly after we created the top, and here the same. Also here, just before the top we crossed. So this is a lagging indicator. You have to understand this. This is lagging a little bit. So this is not 100% accurate. And here you see we still have also here some borrowed time before they are crossing. They're not crossing now. And this is, what is this on? So this is on a daily chart, on log scale, of course. So, and you see, we might have here also still, let's say 60 days left before they're potentially crossing, where Bitcoin goes to the upside, before we get the P cycle top indicator flashing here that we have hit a local top, of course, not an all-time top, so but a local top for the time being, and from where we see a small retracement over 2 to 3 months, and then we have then when we get closer to the halving, we see a major move then to the upside. Guys, I hope you liked that episode. Let me know in the comments if I should talk more about on-chain data as I find them, or if I should stick only to technicals. Let me know in the comments below. I'm interested to see what you guys would like to be shown here. And don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And before I go, I'm going to show you, I'm of course trading right now. There you see XRP position $600 in profit. I see you tomorrow.